One thing they always told me, nigga, you gotta get it out here on your own. And that's real shit. That's real shit, nigga. Real talk. Look! See, I grind hard. See, I grind hard. See, I grind hard, independent. Said that you made mine on the money. Had some niggas that betrayed me, your family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me. See, I grind hard, independent. Said that you made mine on the money. Some niggas that betrayed me, your family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me. Doing a 9 to 5, putting in overtime, trying to make it out. Going to school, even feeling tired, even contemplating on me dropping out. Grind hard on my own, did it all alone. Couple niggas hated, even friends that betrayed me, even family that forsake me. Still grinding, nigga, gotta get it. With little faith, but a nigga winning. Can never stop and finish till the ending. Told my daddy all about my music, try to keep it moving with my rap career. When it came right down, seemed like he ain't care. I remember conversations with my granddaddy sleeping there on the couch. Told my granddaddy college ain't for me, rapping only way I make it out. Said, nigga, I believe you, go on and achieve it. You feel you can make it, one day you'll be the greatest. Grind hard, independent. Said that you made mine on the money. Had some niggas that betrayed me, your family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me. Independent, said that you made mine on the money. Some niggas that betrayed me, even family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me. Remain humble, but ain't never quit. Grind hard just to feed my siblings. Did without it, I ain't even tripping. And had it harder than the mother niggas. But the struggle made me dedicated. By any means, just to get the paper. See my shot, so I had to take it. Steph Curry with the winning shot. Made myself into a boss nigga, coming from the roof and chilling on the block. Hard times, I'm accustomed to it, but the mission was for me to never stop. I remember I was laughed at, cause they didn't think that I could do it. They could bite it as a flashback, now they see me as a hood opportunist.
Fuck with me.
Grind hard, independent. Said that you made mine on the money. Had some niggas that betrayed me, the family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me. See, I grind hard, independent. Said that you made mine on the money. Had some niggas that betrayed me, even family that forsake me. With the struggle, that's what made me.
You know, I get a lot of flack, and a lot of people get mad at me when I talk. They be hating, and I understand why. Cause I'ma keep it 100, cause I look you in your eyes. I tell you truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100. Got something to say, I look you in your face, then I put you in your place. I'ma keep it 100, I'm not an OJ's backstabber, just a realist thinking I'm a facts grabber. Oh, I see the fear in the people's eyes, that's why I'm breaking down the science on this genocide. Listen, they claiming Black Lives Matter, right? Well, I'ma tell you that this bull, and I tell you why. Cause whenever you hear that set from another side, then every day in black communities be homicides. Look at these kids, yo, they traumatized. Cause whenever they see the cops, yo, they running high. And then they turn the TV on, they get undermined. And then you give them a Bible, they read 100 lies. Want them to function like a real man, but you ain't even got a clue about the real plans. Secretly, they need to keep them in the fields, man. That's why I'm killing the game, cause I'ma keep it 100. Cause I look you in your eyes, I tell you truth and no lies. I'ma keep it 100, truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100, got something to say. I look you in your face, then I put you in your place, I'ma keep it 100. They claiming racism dead, yo, but when we trip about it, say it's in our head, though. But then we listen to the news and hear about Freddie Gray. I mean, we ducking and dodging and shit like every day. I'm real with it, yeah, mentally we sodomized. It's cause our history books straight up been modified. They wanna take us out and bulk it, call it Columbine. No reparations and they won't even apologize. I'm trying to tell you that these crackers got a lot to hide. Create fantasy and cover it with a lot of lies. I'm telling y'all that the prison system been privatized. It's about that paper slavery, make up the bottom line. And entertainment got you believing it's paradise. I tell the truth is something you will never like. But once it get in your brain, you'll never be the same. That's why I'm killing the game, cause I'ma keep it 100, cause I look you in your eyes. As I tell you truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100, cause I'm a boss. If I talk, I'ma walk real talk, I'ma keep it 100, cause I look you in your eyes. As I tell you truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100, got something to say. I look you in your face, then I put you in your place, I'ma keep it 100. They really want us walking around with our heads low. Want us thinking we inferior cause they said so. But then we give them satisfaction cause we do the ish. We steady begging for acceptance so we prove we is. We got our women on TV showing they ratchet side. They make the whole entire race look like we savage, right? We bust it up and get a new something to talk about. But then you wanna get mad at me when I call it out. You want the truth but it seem like you can't handle the truth. How people fall but you want everything handed to you. I swear to God I'm not really understanding the youth. They got it good but won't sympathy and parent too. I tell them Negro, you really need to check your ego, cause your unwillingness to do it destroying our people. You see I'm keeping it real, it ain't about the fame. That's why I'm killing the game, cause I'ma keep it 100, cause I look you in your eyes. As I tell you truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100, cause I'm a boss. If I talk, I'ma walk real talk, I'ma keep it 100, cause I look you in your eyes. As I tell you truth and no lies, I'ma keep it 100, got something to say. I look you in your face, then I put you in your place, I'ma keep it 100.
Yeah, 100, 100, I'ma keep it 100, I'ma do it. Y'all ain't ready. Yo, I'ma keep it 100.
I am on an endless journey through eternity.
It's the High Powered Podcast. Lit conversations, debates, and advice that keep you turned up.
Hey yo, welcome to the High Power Podcast. It's your one and only host, Princella Clark. is going down tonight. It's going down tonight. I'm excited for tonight. I got a guest here. I got a guest that's coming on tonight. And it's gonna be a real lovely build. If you over there on Facebook, you know, Facebook ain't treated me right over the years, and I could really give a damn about Facebook. So I done switched platforms. I still talk over there every now and then because, you know, that's where all my people at. But I'm gonna need you to do me one good thing and get your ass right on over here to YouTube, because it's going down. We party over here. We do it live. We do it big. I love it. I love it. But anyway, if you don't want to join the party, then guess what? You ain't gonna be part of it. Go on over there. What's good? Belina, what's happening? Bella, what's good? All right? Mr. Rambo, what's good? Thank y'all for tuning in. I sure appreciate it. When you step in the building, let me tell you something. The only way to let YouTube know that you like the content is you gotta hit the like button, all right? And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because every single thing that we doing on here is necessary, all right? And it's gonna help you build, it's gonna help you grow. Some of this shit, you know, some of it you might not like. You might not like. I ain't here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, though. Right? I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And if you're a woman in the building, hey, go ahead, boss up, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to boss up. If you're a man, you're here to elevate, right? Because let me tell you something. If you a man and you got it all together, you the shit, right? You the shit. And I respect you. I want you to understand that. As a man, if you got your shit together, right, and you can stand on your own 2 feet, and you can wade through the treacherous waters of life without asking a woman for help or begging a woman for help, you gotta know that I respect you, you know? So if I'm saying something about, you know, a certain type of person and you don't fit the bill, don't take offense. Please don't, all right? Because it's just a certain type, it's a certain type of guy that I respect. But this ain't about guys tonight. Actually, tonight is about empowerment, specifically women, really, right? I got my high school, a friend of mine from high school that's joining me on the show tonight. And it's gonna be a really lovely build, right? This chick, we used to get into freestyle battles. You know, I ain't never really been good at freestyling, right? Because my brain don't click that damn fast, right? But I'm a hell of a lyricist, and I'm able to think of things and keep the lyrics in my head. I'm just not able to come up with it quick off the dome like that, right? But I don't have to write it either, but I can remember it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Me and her used to get into rap battles and stuff all the time. We were both pretty popular in high school for that, you know what I mean? But she went on to do some great things, right? She got into radio. I want her to tell her story about how she got into radio. I want her to tell her life story and how she was able to overcome some things and where she wants to go in life and the principles that she applied to life to get where she's going, right? Some of her health journey and self-love, right? So there's a lot of power packed into this, where if you might be feeling a little down, whether you're a man or a woman, right? If you're feeling a little down, this may be a show that can inspire you and push you, or give you that push to take you where you want to go and where you need to go in your life. Because let me tell you one thing. The road to success is not a straight goddamn line. Let me tell you that right now. The road to success is not a straight line. If you in the building, make sure you press the like button. All right. It's the only way we're gonna let YouTube know we like the content. Now, the road to success is treacherous. It's a bitch. It don't give a damn. Before you make it to where you want to go, you're going to get knocked back a few times, right? You're going to get knocked back a few times. But you got to know why you doing what you're doing. And you got to know if it's something that you was meant to be doing, right? Because if it ain't meant for you to do it, I don't care how hard you try. I don't care how many times you knock on the door. Damn it, the door ain't gonna open, right? Like, example. I'll give you an example. When I was in the Army, I was in my early 20s. And I had this idea that I wanted to be on the fire department. I wanted to try for the fire department, right? And I was real fit at that time. At that time, I was deadlifting 300 pounds. I was deadlifting 300. I was curling 20, 25. If you see me to curl 20 to 25 pounds, that's pretty good, right? And I was curling that. You know, I would run a mile with 75-pound weight vest on, okay? I was doing like 75 push-ups in 2 minutes. I was the shit, okay? I was really, really working out then. And I was like, you know what? I want to be on the fire department. So I took the civil service test, right? And I passed it. I had to drive from Shreveport, Louisiana, all the way down to Homer, Louisiana, to take the civil service test, because it wasn't no local thing. So that was a 6-hour drive. I drove all the way down there just to take a test. I passed the test, and then I went back to Shreveport, and I was like, okay, it's time for the next part of the test. So I just kept calling the captain. The captain would never, ever answer my phone call. He would never return it. I would go up there and everything. No matter how hard I knocked on that door, no matter how many times I knocked on the door just wasn't going to open, because you know what? That just wasn't meant for me to do. So I went on ahead and chalked that up and just washed it off, right? So you got to know what is for you and what ain't for you. Even right now with the trucking, I have gotten a multitude of signs that say, Princella, trucking is not for you. We're not going to open the door, and you're not going to stay at the location that you are at, okay? Your purpose is your natural gifts, and you need to be confident and walk in the path that you're supposed to go, but trucking ain't it. It's going to be some ups and downs, but you fit for the journey. You done been through it several times. Go through it for your purpose, but trucking is not it, all right? You got to be able to accept when some shit just ain't for you, all right? You got to be able to accept that, all right? But even when something is for you, it ain't going to be a straight line. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, and here she is, coming right on in. All right. Gotcha. Okay, let me see. Nope, that's not the one. Let me put you over here. There we go. All right. Oh, shoes, I don't like that. Hold on. I got a feedback here. Give me just a second. Mm-hmm. So we got feedback. Where's the feedback coming from? Can you hear some feedback?
No, you sound good over here.
Okay. And audience, y'all don't hear no feedback. We all clear, no echoing or nothing. I just want to make sure.
Check, mic check 1 2 in it, bitch.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Yeah.
Hey, look, this is my longtime homegirl. We went to high school together. We still stay in communication. We don't talk as much because we both have our own lives. She got her thing going on, but we have never lost communication. I would like to introduce y'all to my longtime friend, radio personality, author, and charity worker, everything. This is everything right here. This is my friend Lil D. How you doing, Lil D?
I'm really wonderful, refreshed, feeling good. Got my tea. I'm ready to have the best conversation ever. Like this feels so like you don't understand. Like they don't understand, bro. Like first of all, high school seems like it was 40 years ago, and the fact that me and you are literally like the fact that it's us. You remember when we got detention for freestyling on lunch break?
Oh man, I do.
Like, man, what you talking about? Go back. Bro.
That's a long time. That's a long time. I let them know that our main connection was because we both used to rap, right? And we wasn't, we was popular. I don't really know how it was for you, D, and you can tell everybody how it was for you. But for me, even though everybody knew me and I was a popular person, I wasn't really somebody to talk about like that in a positive way. So I experienced a lot of negative interactions in high school, only because even though I rapped, I was really shy and kind of to myself. So I wasn't never really out there, Yeah. So I don't know how it was for you, but you can tell everybody how it was for you. Rap was my only comfort. Rap, dancing, and drawing. That was the only way that I could keep people off my ass and feel confident about myself in some way.
Definitely same for me as far as like being expressive and knowing who I was. But for me, I was the hoe in high school, so everybody knew who I was. But like people didn't like me. People just like to make fun of me. People like to, and it's wild because I really wasn't a hoe. Like I really was not fucking like that. But let people tell it. I was just sitting on every dick in sight. So, people knew me, they knew I rap, but it was wild when I got to doing like freestyle stuff on the radio, all of a sudden, hey, shout me out. Wait a minute, wasn't you just shitting on me last week?
Right. They don't know, and I was just telling them about purpose and life and how if something ain't for you, the door ain't gonna open, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of jealousy, sometimes people will be jealous of somebody else, right? But they don't understand that where that person is going and the things that person has, it's a part of their life journey. And so even if you try to do something or try to copy somebody, if it ain't for you, it just ain't for you, and the door ain't gonna open. So even though me and her rapped, right? D got on the radio. See, she's a radio personality, and she been in radio since high school. But how did she get on the radio? Cause she wasn't no trash rapper. She was actually really good. Huh? No, she was. No, she was actually really good. And so I think they had some type of contest that they was doing on the radio for freestyling. She called in and she was undefeated for 9 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Straight off the dome.
Right. I was going to say back when you had to actually freestyle, back when you actually freestyle actually meant off the top of your head. Because mind you, it was every Friday, but it was like 3 or 4 people each night. And then people would have to call in and vote. So I got it honest. Like these were my friends calling in and voting. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And with her winning these freestyle battles 9 weeks in a row, it opened up her intern opportunity to be on the radio. So if you want to tell them about that, go ahead and tell them about that.
Okay, so I wanted to be a rapper, and me and the night job got cool because, he would call me when it was time to rap on Fridays or whatever. And when I got to college, funny story. So, we were in Shreveport, Louisiana. I was going to LSU in Baton Rouge, accepted, picked out my dorm room, everything. Only reason I stayed in Shreveport is because there was a singer's manager, and they were like, you remember what was the name of the group? Legacy, this real popular R&B group around the city. They have been like a little show, and their manager was like, "I want to manage you." So I'm like, okay, look, I'm gonna give you 1 semester, and if it don't work out, I'm going to Baton Rouge, bro. So I applied to LSU Shreveport. Cool. It didn't work out, and I was like, I don't want to leave in the middle of the school year. So I'm like, all right, bet I'll go to LSU Baton Rouge my sophomore year. Let me finish freshman year here. Bet everything is set. February, second semester of freshman year, the night jog asked me to be on his show.
And that's
If
all.
I'd have left, it would have never happened. But yeah, so I was his co-host for free. We had paperwork and everything. I was like an official intern, and I was a night job co-host from 6 to 10, and I was terrible. It was so bad. I told all my friends like I'm about to be in the back like Ludacris, like I'm about to make mixtapes. We going platinum. I definitely made mixtapes. I ain't gonna platinum though, but yeah, it was dope though.
Now I want to ask you something because, I don't want to. Obviously, the core audience here would most likely be black. So, one of the things that has reigned in the black community for a long time is their apprehension about working for free and even being employed by somebody. And what they don't understand is you're not working for free. You're working to gain experience. So when you have an opportunity to work for free, to learn something, that is the best opportunity that you can get, because the best way to get into places is through free labor, right?
Come on, somebody.
And so for you, you were able to break through the radio industry, right? Through your natural gifts and your willingness to intern, which is something that is not valued in the black community. What do you say about that?
I think that we have to change. You know how words have power? I think that first we have to change what we say. Because I could easily say I was working for free because there was $0 attached, right? But I wasn't working for free. I was working for game. I was working for a resume. I didn't even realize what I was doing because I didn't want to do radio. Even after I started, my whole thought process was I can go in the back and make this mixtape and whatever. It was I did it for 8 months, and it wasn't until what happened. I One of my homeboys came into town one day, and I just left like in the middle of the shift. I was like, okay, well, my best friend here, so I'm gonna go, but I'll be back tomorrow. And he was really, really mad, and I couldn't understand why he was so mad, because I'm like, you ain't paying me for this. Why do you fuck you so salty about? And the next night, he was like, I almost asked you to not come back. And I just couldn't understand what the big deal was, because last time I checked, I'm in college and I'm poor, and you ain't even paying me for this. So why is it important to you? And we were off air at 10 p.m. That night, he was there doing production until 12:30. And I remember going, he's still here. This is really important to him. Huh. And when you start kind of realizing what other people value, at least for me, I'm like, okay, why do you care about this so much? What is it about talking on this mic that's got you here till 12:30? And I started to understand, like, wait, he's hosting clubs and he's DJing places, and people in the city know his name. And when I tell people I'm on KMJJ, it means something. Okay. So if I can't get no money, let me at least get some game. Let me at least get some knowledge. And so I was working for $0, but I gained a wealth of knowledge, because if it wasn't for them $0, I damn sure would have never seen what a salary with benefits looks like.
And how How about the benefit of the connections that you acquired by being in that industry?
That's literally how I learned everything. Like when I got fired in Toledo and I interviewed for my job in Cleveland, literally Charlemagne is on my resume as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy went, "You really know Charlemagne?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "If I call him, what he gonna say?" And I was like, "He gonna tell you I'm dope." He called that man in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know Lil D? What you know about her? Lil D dope. Yeah, with the right direction, she got next.
Mm-hmm.
You're hired. The fuck? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, and I met him when I was unemployed, sitting
Mm-hmm.
on the couch on Twitter. He just tweeted me back. And I was like, man, I think it might be it's harder now. The more we get into this digital space, the harder it is to for people to learn how to shake hands
Right.
and say, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I can be of value to you. Here's how you can be of value to me." Let's, I don't know. It's becoming so much harder, and it's like relationships still matter. No matter how many followers you got, if I can't shoot you a text real quick and we can do this and that, it don't really matter.
Right. So why don't you give them some backstory? Because I told them that the road to success ain't easy. Now you see how those doors open for you. Now you wanted to rap, but that wasn't the universe's purpose for you or what it had intended for you. But that was, I always say it like this, right? You'll crave something and you think that the things that you're craving is because you want it, right? But there's an underlying reason that you may be craving it, even on a biological level, right? If you are low on nutrients somewhere, your brain will cause you to feel like you want to eat an apple or something, or a carrot. Like you'll have a craving for that because there's some nutrients in it that your body needs to pull from it. So to trick your brain into thinking that you want it, right? The, to take you in a different direction, though. The same thing goes with spirituality and your purpose. You may crave to do something else, but the universe got something else in store for you, and it's only using your craving to take you in the direction that you need to go. So even though you wanted to rap, what the universe had for you was bigger than rap, which led you and opened the door for you to be in radio. However, even though the door opened for you, was it an easy journey for you?
What? Fuck no, girl. So the only thing that kept me in this journey is that I'm stubborn and I'm hard headed and I refuse to like give up. Um, it's wild because like I can tell you like going in radio is so hard and it is, but what makes things hard in life is the amount of love that you are missing from yourself. So I never really had self-esteem. I never had a lot of like self-love. The image I had of myself was never really like amazing. And when you do something like radio, you would think, especially back then, 05, 06, people would think like, well, you're on the radio, who cares? Yeah, okay. I knew in 2006, I remember telling somebody, no, looks matter for radio personalities, like watch. And everybody was like, girl, you crazy. This not TV. And here we are, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And when you're in a business as shallow as radio and you don't like the way you look, baby, listen, they gonna eat your ass up. People can look at you and tell when you're confident. They can look at you and tell when you're not. And so when you're in a position where you're on the radio and like your niche and your brand is to talk shit, the better you feel about yourself, the more you put into yourself. And so I can look back on like pictures on flyers and things and be like, damn, so you didn't even have enough in you to like do your hair. That's fucked up. But so on a shallow level, it was really hard. Like the first time I looked at myself and was like, wow, you are pretty. I was 25 and I had been in radio for like 6 years just to realize that the image, like who I was, is not pretty industry wise. And so it was really hard trying to build self-esteem when you're in a place where you're not what's socially beautiful. Um, Not only that, but I left home at 22. So I was doing radio in Shreveport, left there, and I went to Toledo, Ohio. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know where the state of Ohio was. Hell. But got fired after a year and a half, and I got hired in Cleveland. But Cleveland and Toledo are 2 hours apart, and I was part time, so I couldn't afford to move. And so I was still in Toledo and just driving back and forth. Wound up getting evicted. Couldn't pay my rent. We got to come back to that because it's really not that I couldn't pay my rent; it's that I asked for help. Um, but got evicted. Was still on air in Cleveland, and moved my. It was like, okay, what you gonna do? You gonna move your stuff? You gonna go back to Shreveport and start over, or you gonna stay up here? And it took me about, I don't know, 5 seconds to decide to stay, move my stuff in storage, and sleep in my car or a motel. So I was on air. I was hosting concerts. Homeless as hell, hungry. It'd be Wednesday, and I would know I wouldn't eat till Friday. So the motel I stayed in was 168.19 every Friday. I made 220 every Friday, working at Frito Lay. So that's $52 left. All right, so $52. I gotta put gas in my tank because I'm on air in Cleveland on Saturday mornings. Okay, and then I gotta eat. Yeah, I never had money to make it to Friday from the Friday ever. And so a lot of days I'd be on air looking through the vending machine like, damn, I wish I had 65 cents. Damn, I wish I had 85 cents for these Doritos. Hungry as fuck. But on air, entertaining you. Hi, it's Lil D. What up?
So how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel while you was going through that?
The only thing that kept me going is the fact that I knew I got to be on air on Saturday. The only thing that kept me going was I didn't have enough love for who I was as a person, but I had enough for Lil D that I wanted this career so bad. And the only time I was happy is when I was on air. I didn't know who I was, like me as a person. So I didn't know what to do to be happy as an actual person. But career wise, I was like, I need this microphone. I need these people. And so that's what kept me going. If it wasn't for that, I'd have gave up and went back home.
So I know a lot of people, actually, people who are successful, a lot of them experience certain things like that, such as homelessness and having to not having money and trying to make their dreams come true. I had a similar experience myself. Our birthdays are not too far apart, just a couple days apart. I think 5 days apart. No, 4 days apart.
4.
Yeah. And you're a Capricorn, I'm an Aquarius. And
you almost were great. It's cool.
No, I am great. Okay. But so we had similar experience because when I moved out here to Houston, I didn't have a dollar to my name. I didn't have a single dollar to my name, and I had to stay on the floor in the corner of my brother's apartment. And within 2 weeks of me getting here, I took a door-to-door sales job. All right. And I did that job all the way until I couldn't do the job anymore because it fell from the bottom and the owner moved and all of that crap. Okay. So then I was left in a city where I didn't know anybody besides my brother. To make a long story short, okay, because that is a very long story, I ended up getting kicked out of my brother's apartment, and I didn't have anywhere to go in Houston. So I didn't know anybody else besides my brother. My brother was afraid for me, and he was like, well, Princella, I think you need to go back to Shreveport. Well, I'm just as stubborn and hard-headed as you, and I don't quit and I don't give up. I got the will and strength of a lion, and it's iron tight. So I was like, I ain't going back to Shreveport. It ain't shit in Shreveport. You know it ain't nothing in Shreveport. Shit, yeah. It ain't shit in Shreveport. So I'm like, well, I ain't going back to Shreveport. So I'm going to just stay in my car, right? So I stayed in my car in January when it was cold as hell. in 24-hour fitness parking lot with $0. I finally got a job at the car lot, and with this car lot job, obviously it's 100% commission. I had never sold cars a day in my life before, but I knew that I needed to change my circumstances. That was my why. So everything that I did, I wasn't thinking about no damn relationship. I wasn't thinking about hooking up with nobody. I wasn't even thinking about talking to nobody on the phone. The only thing that I needed to do was turn my situation around. And so while I was sleeping in my car, I was working at the car lot, and I started January 6, 2013. Well, because I started January 2013, I had to take all of the tests that they had for the whole year of 2012. That was probably like 200 tests. And they gave me 3 months. The owner gave me 3 months to complete them. Well, guess how fast I completed them. I completed them suckers in 2 weeks.
Period.
in 2 weeks.
Period.
In 2 weeks, yes.
We gonna
And
work.
oh yeah, we gonna do it. We
gonna
gonna do
start.
it because at the end of the day, the key to success is not the opportunity. It is not the circumstance. It is totally your will and your determination and your why. And
Yep.
so after 2 weeks, they took me off because they had me guaranteed, because they can't not pay you nothing. So they had me guaranteed on a draw. They gave me a draw of $1,500 for 3 months. They took the draw away from me after I completed it in 2 weeks. I got on the floor with 10 days left in the month to sell cars, and I sold 9 cars in my first 10 days with no help. Yes.
You better say that.
Yes. Because the determination that I had to get out of that situation, I was not interested. I wasn't thinking about having no boo thing. I wasn't thinking about no relationships. I wasn't thinking about going out to party, not to drink, not nada. It's about getting out of this situation and turning our circumstances around. And from there, I went on to do great things in the car business, you know. And then after that was over, I went on to something else, which was trucking. So we kind of have similar stories of hardship that are used to develop you as a person. And these hardships are necessary. You
Yep.
think?
I remember when you were selling cars because you taught me how to fix my credit.
And that worked for you?
It did. Like, I had no idea what to do at all. And I remember being in Cleveland and you taught me, you were like, okay, so here's what you need to do. This is what you need to pay off. This is what credit people like look at. I didn't know anything. Like, you literally started me off with what I was supposed to do. And it was because of you, I saved my money, fixed my credit, and bought a new car.
That's wonderful. I'm glad that you was able to do that and get out of, turn your situation around at that time. And so let me ask you this question. What would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody that's in a hardship situation? What would you tell them?
The hardship situation that I was in, I should have never been in. And the reason I was in it is because I didn't love myself enough to ask for help. I didn't understand that I was worthy of people helping me. I was so used to things going wrong that I didn't realize that they can go right also. Like, it's okay to say, hey, listen, I'm struggling right now. I don't have it. Before you can get out of your situation physically, you got to get out of it out here. No matter where you are, you don't have to be there mentally. And until you get out of it in your mind, you're gonna stay there. If you poor as fucking Shreveport and you haven't fixed what the thing that's keeping you poor, you gonna be poor as fucking Dallas. You gonna be poor as fucking New York. You gonna be poor if you're in New York and you poor as fuck. You gonna be poor as fucking Shreveport. It goes opposite the same way, no matter which way you go.
Because everywhere you go, guess what? You got to take
Your
you
mom
with
is
you.
coming with
You got to take you with you. All right.
And it's like at the lowest point, and in the book, the book I wrote about it, the lowest point to me was when I was getting ready to surrender my cats. I still have them, but I was getting ready to take them because I couldn't feed them. And I just remember going like, "Yo, you are fucking up." And I was really, really mean to myself, and I said a lot of really horrible things to myself. No one knows about these horrible things because since I fed myself so much, you're terrible, you deserve to be here, look what you did to yourself, you're not good enough to be out of this, you might as well sit in this, that no one even knew. Dog, my rent, the reason I got evicted, my rent was $300. Now, I could have got 300. I could have asked 5 people for, like, I could have got $300.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, not to get off topic. Sorry. If you're going through it, you have to be grateful for what you have first off. When you change your thinking, you change your life. And that should be sounding easy to say when you're not in the struggle and whatever. But like, this is what I did to get out of that shit. You wake up every day, and every time you want to go, oh, these bills, oh, this thing, stop and think about what you're grateful for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be hard at first, but shit, are you breathing? Okay, let's be grateful for that. You got a whole nose and a mouth. You alive as fuck. So let's start there. Because as long as you're alive, you got an opportunity. Are you on Instagram being sad? Oh, so you got a phone? Oh, cool. You got Wi-Fi? That's 3 things to be grateful for right there. Did you eat today? Bet. Like, instead of all I had to eat was cereal. Did you eat today? Okay, cool. Because somebody else did. And the more you change your thoughts, the more your circumstance will magically change, and you'll wake up one day like, "Oh shit, look, I'm better." Mm-hmm. But it starts in your head. And
that's really good thinking. That is very good advice, if I must say so myself. What I would like to add into addition to that, because life is not easy, life is very difficult. But when you find yourself in a very difficult situation, see yourself as a warrior. See yourself as a warrior in a battle where you refuse to be defeated. Right? Because no matter how tough the situation get, it's something in my mind that says I'm not going to let people watch me fail. I'm not going to let nobody see me give up. I don't give a damn how hard it is. I ain't going to quit. Because before I ended up on the streets, right, in Houston, when I was doing door-to-door sales and I was knocking on doors, I was selling energy at this time. And I got a great personality. When you're around me, my energy is so infectious, it's easy for me to make friends and connections. It's very, very easy. It's easy for me to sell stuff, right? Simply because of my personality, right? So I knocked on this door, right? And I was selling them energy. To make a long story short, I made a really good connection. At the time, they lived down the street from my brother. Well, when I ended up getting kicked out, I ended up resorting to them to ask to let them know what happened. And he said, you know what, my sister is going through a foreclosure right now. Maybe y'all can help each other. So he asked her, can I stay with her? Now, she was in the middle of a foreclosure, so she's stressed out, right? I literally just got the job at the car lot. Okay, I just got the job at the car lot. I ain't making no money. I'm not gonna see a paycheck for at least 2 weeks. All right. So I stayed with her a week, right? I stayed with her a whole week. And because she's under so much stress, she started like pushing me for money that I ain't got, when you already knew that I was homeless at that time, right? So she gave me she gave me a list of shelters to go to, right? Because she was basically kicking me out.
What was the point even saying you can come?
Right, because I was only there for like a week, maybe a week and a half.
Who just got a job? Just come on, man.
Yeah, I was probably there only a week and a half. But see, Princella, I don't just bow down. Like I'm just not gonna just roll over, right? I'm gonna put up a fight every time. So I ain't put up no fight with her. I put up the fight with the circumstance. And so I was like, okay, because she was telling me, and Princella, I keep it real all the time. And so in this situation was when keeping it real goes wrong. And I still didn't give a fuck. But I wrote her a letter. And I was like, look, lady, I understand that you're going through a situation with your foreclosure and all of that. I ain't got no money right now because I just started working, right? Well, she ain't like the letter, and she gave me the list of shelters to say you can't stay here no more. And Princella was like, I'm not going to allow myself to go into a shelter so that these negative thoughts can seep in my mind to make me believe that I'm in a worse situation than I actually am. Now, it's bad, but it ain't that bad for me to go to no shelter. So I'm like, because you have people you got drug addicts in shelters, you got low destitute people who ain't really trying to do shit in shelters. You got a mix of people in a shelter, and I just didn't want to be around that energy. And I wasn't going to allow my mind to start being infected with me being under rock bottom. So I was like, you know what? Fuck the shelter. I ain't got to stay here, but fuck the shelter. I'm going to just go sleep in my car. I'd be damned if I go to a shelter. And so that's what I did. And it was cold as shit out there in January, but at least the heater in my car worked, right? And I believe in spirit. And I was at the dealership because I would go in the dealership at like 6:00 in the morning to work on them computers to get the test done. And I would stay until everybody left. And sometimes that'll be 12:00 at night. I would stay all day long because I was determined, and I have all the computers on. They had like 15 computers in there. I had all 15 of them on, and I had a different test plan on each and every last one of them every day from morning to night. And so I was in there one night, and the assistant manager came in there, and he was like, you need some money to get you to your first paycheck? And he reached in his pocket and gave me $200. No questions asked, right? He ain't know how bad. I didn't tell nobody shit. He didn't know how bad I needed that money because I ain't have a single dollar to my fucking name. Right? My phone had to got cut off. Right? I ain't had no communication, nothing, and I'm staying in the car. And so with that $200, I was able to go get me a prepaid phone.
Yes.
I was able to go put a little gas in my car, and I got the membership at 24 Hour Fitness. So now my mentality is this, bitch, as long as I got a car, bitch, I ain't never homeless. Cause guess what?
Hear me.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a part in my book where I say, I remember looking around and going, at least you got a car.
Yeah, that's it. That was my mentality. That's why when you said, hey, be thankful for what you do have. Hey, look, at least I got a car and I can go anywhere. So I can take a shower every day. I can go to the laundromat and I can wash my clothes every day. I am not homeless. And this bitch got a heater, because it's cold as shit out here. Man, I'm good. So if I need to get a job, if I can't work on this side of town, I can go, I'm mobile, I can get a job. That was my mentality. I didn't think about what I didn't have. I just thought, thank God I got a car. I'm going to get the fuck out this situation, period. You know? And my brother was really impressed because he was worried about me. Never bet against Princella, because I'ma always defeat the odds. That's always.
You've been doing that since I know you.
Mm-hmm. I try to tell people they think I just be bullshitting.
Nah, bro. you gonna always be okay. Hell, do you remember when before my apartment was ready and I think I had like 3 weeks in between apartments and I stayed on your couch?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bruh, you've always been that person to help people, give back, and be selfless. You gonna always be okay.
Mm-hmm. You gave him. I was sleeping. What the hell was I sleeping on? A fucking air mattress? You gave him my bed.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, yeah. When I moved out, I gave you the bed. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. So it's like, you know, you go through this life humble. You know what I mean? You go through the life. You go through your life humble, but at the same time, you go through this life confident, knowing
Yes.
who you are. So I asked you before the show. I asked you something because you turned you done turned a lot around, right? You want to stand up and show everybody like your
Aha,
fitness.
you know, don't see it. I'm fine as fuck. No, but,
Now,
yeah,
I'm gonna show y'all a before and after picture because she looked pretty good, don't you? Look, this is a beautiful dark-skinned woman, right? This is a woman that just told y'all she has self-esteem issues, okay? And y'all know the climate in America. Dark-skinned women get treated like shit. It's like they the bottom of the barrel to black people, right? How did that? You know that? How did that? I
yeah.
know you had self-esteem issues, but a lot of
Oh
your
yeah.
self-esteem issues came from your upbringing in the house. But when you went out into the world, how did these stereotypes or how did colorism really impact you mentally when you had to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I'm dark skinned"? Have you ever said that you hated your skin color, your hair?
Oh yeah. When I first started buying makeup, I instinctively bought the darkest shade. I didn't look, I didn't compare, I didn't try to. I just assumed because my whole, you grow up, all you hear is your black ass, black nappy headed ass little girl, black ass, darky darky midnight. So I thought I was the color of this mug. Like I really just thought I'm so dark. First off, I thought that was just oh so bad. Like being dark is bad, but I hate that. Ugh, it was bad. And it was really bad in Ohio, like really bad. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I attracted a lot of that shit to me because I ain't like who I was and I thought I was focused on. But up there, it was a lot. I remember somebody tweeted and was like, "Who's that black ass, nappy headed ass bitch on the radio?" There was a Facebook post once that said something like, "I finally saw what Lil D looked like, and oh my god!" And it was people going in on the comment like, "Yeah, I know, I saw her somewhere," and I was like, "Damn, she ugly as fuck." And somebody was like, "I don't know what she looked like." Someone else posted some pictures of me, and they was like, "God damn, she ugly." Like, I mean, just it was several. It was several comments. I hosted the club on Saturday, so if I posted a picture in a dress, like "Come meet Lil D," people would like comment and be like, "You ugly." Um, and especially in this industry, like up there, you can do the minimum depending on how you look and what the image you give off, and you're gonna get ahead. You're gonna have to work harder when you're a woman and you're dark skinned and you have natural hair and you like, me, I'm black as fuck. Like you gotta have to really work hard and harder because somebody else can be like, "Oh, hi, I do radio," and that's it. You're hired, or suck a little dick. You're hired. So it'll almost make you feel like, you know what, fuck it, let me get this sew in. I actually did that once. I was in Cleveland. I was tired of getting turned down for jobs. I got my first sew in, and true story, I got hired 3 weeks later. I took the sew in out like a month after I got there because I was like, wow, this shit actually worked.
Wow. So they hired you based on putting weave in your head, huh?
Like I'm talented as fuck. I came to the interview prepared. I had a flash drive with audio examples of all the features we gonna do. Yeah, I really think it was a sewing. But yeah, it'll make you feel like you're not supposed to be here. You don't belong, and if you don't know who you are, you're not empowering yourself, which I wasn't. It just makes you feel like no matter how talented you are, it don't matter. Like all you want is for somebody to say, "Damn, Lil D fine as fuck. Damn, she's so pretty. Oh my god, I love your skin." And you want it so bad that if you don't watch it, you'll find yourself doing stupid shit to get it.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show everybody your before and your after picture, and I want you to
Man.
tell them how you went on this journey. All right? Let's see. Here we go.
I feel like one of those Slim Fast commercials. Remember back in the day on TV, they'd be like,
Now,
Jesse lost 50 pounds.
now, how long ago was the picture, the before picture?
That before picture is 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
And what about the one on the right?
What picture did I send you? Oh, Thursday.
That was Thursday, so that's recent picture. You did a hell of a job. You look fantastic. Now, how did you end up? What made you go on that journey? What made you go on a weight loss journey?
So I didn't. I went on a mental health journey. I lost weight on accident. It was a complete surprise to me too. Last year, I think I hit that boiling point where all the depression and anxiety and everything came up, and I couldn't hide from the shit anymore. Um, so in 2015, 5 people I love died, starting with my father and ending with my grandma. It was a horrible year. I should have went to therapy. I didn't. I wound up in a crazy house for 5 days. It was bad. I moved from Columbus and got to Dallas, and I thought, oh my God, I'm finally happy. Yay. Yeah, lies you tell yourself because you're in a new city. But this travels with you. So I got fired last year, but before that happened, 3 people I love died, 2 in one day. I'm talking, I woke up to the news of one, went to sleep, woke up to the news of the next one. One's funeral was Saturday. Come Monday, my uncle died. I take a week off from work because what the fuck? And as I'm off work, I heard my replacement. And I said to myself at the red light, they finna fire me and replace me with her. My next job gonna be lit though. And true enough, they fired me like 4 days later. I was so fucked up from people dying, I didn't realize I got fired. Like I didn't care. That week was so fucked up. I had a funeral Monday. I got fired Thursday, and my uncle's funeral was Saturday. And so while I got fired, and I have to create this content because it's still a brand and tell people in a creative way that I got let go. Everybody's also, what's next? And I'm like, bitch, my uncle's funeral is what's next because it's in 2 days. That's what's next. The repast. So anyway, when you get fired and you realize you're sad as fuck because a lot is going on. You just lost a lot. Also, I let my little brother stay with me for a while because he had just moved to Dallas, and that was a stupid ass decision because he was more depressed than me. And you can't have 2 depressed people in one house. I just felt like I knew I needed to do something, and so I started going for walks. And I had a job, so fuck it, I got nothing else to do. Let me wake up at 6:30 and go for a walk. And when I tell you I walk, I would look up and it'd be 11:45. I would just walk, listen to music, stop, meditate a little bit, watch the water, look at the squirrels. You learn so much about life watching ducks. You learn how to be present. You learn how to not live in the future or live in the past. You learn that water, no matter what form it's in, if it's gas or it's this air bubble in this stream or it's water at full force, it's going to keep going. Water don't have time to go, oh, I remember when I was air, that was cool. Nah, it's still got to keep doing this because somebody's got to drink it. Walking and taking those walks turned into, I think I kind of want a power walk now. I'm bored. And by June, I got fired April 1st. By June, I was like, I'm going to jog a little while I walk. And in July, I started training for a half marathon, and I ran it December 12th, and here we are. I did not realize I was losing weight. I wasn't marking my progress. I wasn't weighing myself. I didn't know until my friends and my family was like, yo, you you losing weight? And I'm like, I don't think so. I ain't even realized my clothes weren't fitting. Understand this. I lost 20 pounds before I got fired. That was stress. I wasn't eating. I didn't even realize I wasn't eating. It would be 6:30, 7 p.m. and I look up like, yo, hold on, did you eat today? Because I was so depressed and fuck. Like, so when I realized I wasn't eating, that's when I was like, okay, hold on. So these pants real baggy and you ain't been in nobody's gym. Did you eat today? And so I started walking and I started making a smoothie. Did you eat breakfast? Hold on, what time is it? No, stop what you're doing. Go get you a fucking apple or something, bro. We're not going to do this. And so that's really what happened. I went from a size 9 to a 2. And I just bought jeans Saturday, and I finally have a bra that fits in my size. And I'm talking yesterday because I'm still buying clothes.
That is magnificent. That's fantastic. I want to address this self-love thing because you done brought it up several times throughout this conversation about how you didn't love yourself and how most of your issues stemmed from that. And you found self-love somehow, and it seems like it was on accident. But yeah, it would sound like it was on accident. However, even though it was on accident and unintentional, it seems to have followed the same path that I have written this book called The 5 Components of Love. And I came up with this concept with the 5 components of love after analyzing people, analyzing behaviors, and analyzing what people do when they actually love somebody, and just sitting here and thinking. We are always using this word love, and we have never been told or taught what it actually means. When people say you need to forgive somebody, and that forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you, they ain't never tell you how to do that shit. They ain't never tell you. Right. They ain't never tell you how to love. They never told you what love is. And they allowed you to grow up believing that love was some type of feeling. Well, I came to the conclusion that love is not those things. That love is made up of 5 things. It's not one thing. And the majority of love is not rooted in feeling. There is a component of feeling that has varying degrees, okay, and intensity, but it is not solely a feeling in and of itself. So what I want to do is I want to ask you, based on the 5 components, did you unintentionally follow these things that were in the book? And I'm going to tell you what they are, and then you can expound on each component. All right? So before you can have love for yourself or anybody else, the first thing that you have to have or have to do before you even get into any of the components is there must be a desire. If there is no desire, there is no reason for a person to set themselves in motion for action. So if a man don't want to get a job and he don't have no desire to get no job, you can throw 50 jobs in his face. You can get, he's not applying. He's not going to get a job. He don't give a fuck.
No, at all. That's what people don't get. But yeah,
you got to care first. You got to care first. Right?
When I realized when I looked up and I realized I wasn't eating, and like, you know how you get used to your jeans, so I was used to like having to just pull them up throughout the day. And it hit me one day when my mama was like, no, you have lost weight. When I realized, yo, did you eat today? That's when I went the fuck outside the next day. The desire. So
yes.
You're right. Go ahead.
So you started. Okay, so you started with the desire. So that pushed you into action. Now, the very first component of love is to seek first understanding, then ye be understood. If because the saying is you can't love nobody else until you love yourself first. So how do you do this? Okay? Because there is no roadmap. At least there wasn't until I came along. Pat on the back. Yeah. There you go. Right. So seek first understanding of yourself. Okay. Yeah. Before you can be in a relationship or have kids, any of that stuff, you have to take time to yourself in complete solitude where it's just you and nobody else. And read yourself like a goddamn book.
Baby, I hurt my feelings. Woo! Yeah, you ain't lied shit.
Right?
Woo!
So you got to learn you got to be brutally honest. Hey, man, I got self-esteem issues. Where did these self-esteem issues come from? What are my traumas? What scars did these traumas leave me? Who am I now as a result of these traumas and these scars? Right?
And sit and meditate and let them answers come to you. Ooh, yeah. Yes.
And then you got to be honest with who you are, because the reality is this. We are all different. Society tell you supposed to be one thing, but baby, the majority of people are not what society say they should be. Now, people acquiesce and try to fit square pegs into a round hole, and they run away. They run away from themselves and they become false versions of themselves. But the true self is not what society say you're supposed to be. So when you take time for yourself and you read yourself and understand that you ain't what society say, you are you are something different, and you begin to accept your difference, right? You can now move, now you done created some understanding, you can now move to the next component to have some appreciation for yourself. See, when you don't appreciate yourself, you'll do some fucked up shit to yourself. You'll say some fucked up shit to yourself.
Yes.
When you have no compassion for yourself, because the second component is appreciation and compassion. When you don't have no compassion for yourself, you'll say shit like you said to yourself. You deserve to, all of that stuff. So you blame yourself and you don't give yourself
how you feel about yourself.
No damn latitude, right?
Yeah.
And when you don't appreciate yourself or have compassion for yourself, when you get to the third component of sacrifice, you won't create boundaries around your sacrifice, because you're willing to sacrifice for yourself. See, when you love yourself, you understand yourself, you appreciate and have compassion for yourself, you'll sacrifice some things for yourself. People who sacrifice everything for other people and never sacrifice for themselves, these people are acting in codependent ways, and they are not acting in self-love, because you can't love nobody unless you love yourself first. So how you gonna understand somebody else when you don't understand yourself? How you gonna appreciate somebody truly when you don't appreciate yourself? And how can you have compassion for somebody else when you ain't got none for yourself? So then when you get to sacrifice, you hollow yourself out, trying to give and give and give to other people, which will destroy the fourth component to ensure the survival of. When you love something, you want to ensure that it lives on. You don't want what you love to die, and you don't want to hurt it. So when you don't love yourself, when you don't create boundaries around the sacrifice portion, and you begin to hollow yourself out, thus destroying your mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional well-being. But when you do love yourself, can't a motherfucker come and tell you a goddamn thing about you. And then
Because you
accept
already know
it.
you.
You know you. You
know
accept you. And you appreciate
like
you.
you.
You like
And
you.
you love the fuck out of you. Like, you cool with you. Like, I
Right.
be telling people, like, now I have a great relationship with myself.
Right.
Like, people think I'm crazy because I talk to myself and I answer, but I be needing to talk shit out sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there have been times. Today, I've been busy as shit, and I'm getting ready to go, and I remember going, nah, I'll get a water later. So go in there and get some fucking fruit. Don't play with me. Literally. And I'm cool with that, because who gonna check? I need to check me. Like, nah, did you eat? Okay, don't. What you doing? Because you matter. So what you finna do is stop and go fucking eat.
Right.
Okay.
Always take care of yourself first, even in finances.
Period.
Wealthy people pay themselves first before they pay any of the other bills. Pay yourself first. It's always you first. Even when you
And
get
like,
on the plane. Hey, don your mask first before you try to help somebody else don their mask. All the
that's my
time.
whole. I be using that example, girl. I be telling people, they be
Right.
telling you in a life or death situation, your life matter first.
It
What
matter
the fuck?
first.
What they gonna put on your tombstone? At least you saved somebody else. Nah, get the fuck out of here.
So here's the thing. When it comes to sacrifice, right? You're going to sacrifice for yourself, but you will also sacrifice for somebody else too. But here's the thing. The sacrifice portion is the real key, because you now have, this is where the varying degrees come from. Because you may be willing to give more to somebody else than you will to another person, right? Because there's varying degrees of what you're willing to sacrifice, because the boundaries are at different levels for different people when you interact with them. So you'll set a boundary around the sacrifice portion of what you're willing to sacrifice. When you love yourself, one of the things that you ain't finna sacrifice is your damn peace. You ain't finna sacrifice your damn peace, because now it begins to kill and harm the self. You're not going to sacrifice across a boundary that begins to negatively impact the self, where you just you're just dipping or throwing into an empty vessel. So
The
if
kids probably protect your peace.
right, so
Real shit.
where people don't understand the sacrifice is this. Sometimes you'll sacrifice your attachments to other people to ensure the survival of yourself. Because self always come first. So no matter how much love you quote unquote got for somebody, let's say you in a relationship, right? Say you're in a relationship and you really love this person. You understand this person. You appreciate this person. You got compassion for this person. But that person don't have no appreciation for themselves. They don't understand themselves, and they don't have no compassion for themselves. So they require endless amounts of sacrifice from you to fill a void, because they don't love themselves. Well, it could become so harsh that they begin to push your boundaries to the point where they start to hollow you out. And if you love yourself, the reality is you love you more than you love them. So you will sacrifice your attachment to them and let them go, because their attachment is draining you, and you have to ensure the survival of self. Self always comes first. But with a healthy relationship is when two people are operating in this knowledge. They both operate from this, and then they cohesively understand this about each other, and it's an automatic give and take. Ain't nobody begging nobody for shit.
Girl, get out my brain. Get out my brain. I broke up with my ex and I said, I love you, but I love me more. Like, bro, get out my brain, bro.
That's the way it is. I mean, I don't give a damn what nobody say about me, because when I look at me in this on my screen, I say I'm a cool motherfucker. Boy, I'm cool as a motherfucker. Now, I'm not that feminine or whatever. I'm not the cliche. I'm me. I understand I'm different. I walk a different path. I'm a free bird. I love every motherfucking inch of me. Right? And it ain't shit that a motherfucker could come and tell me that's gonna make me feel any kind of negative feelings about me. Right? And I'm willing to sacrifice some things to make sure that I stay intact. So if that
Yeah.
means sacrificing my connection with you, oh well, I'm gonna sacrifice my connection with you. All right.
Bye.
I'm gonna sacrifice some time to ensure the survival of myself because guess what? I want to live on. So just like you lost weight, I had to do the same goddamn thing. You
Come
know what
on,
I'm saying?
come
Look
on,
at that.
stomach.
Look
Come
at
on, yeah. See, that's the Princella I remember.
that.
Come on, ass. Yeah, come on, baby Aaliyah. Come on.
Right. I'm always like that, man.
You better let them know why he
Right.
doing
We
it.
gotta let them know. I mean, shit.
He
Look,
fine.
I tell
He
you.
didn't find his foot.
Look.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Don't play with me because you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. What's good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm catching up.
Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? I done got some muscles out here now.
Yeah. That's how
Couple biceps, bitch.
that's how it's gotta be. You got to love yourself. And so I like looking at me in the mirror because I always tell myself the best things I can tell myself. Even when it comes to the journey. Hey man, I'm loving the journey of creating the podcast. I absolutely love it. I expect the ups and downs. I'm just enjoying the journey of doing it because hey, I understand who I am. I understand my strengths, my talents, my weaknesses. I understand what my life purpose is, and I understand that I'm walking in it. So I don't compare myself to nobody else. See, jealousy cannot exist in me because I know that I'm on a different path than everybody else, and I'm also on a different time frame. So it ain't nothing that you can do that's going to intimidate me because we on two different paths, and baby, my time is coming, all right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. My time is coming. Why would I be jealous of you? Because see, jealousy cannot exist in love. Light and dark cannot occupy the same space. So jealousy cannot exist in pure love because pure love is understanding. Pure love is appreciation, right? And compassion. And pure love is sacrifice. Pure love is to ensure the survival of. Right? When I understand, the key thing is when I understand my purpose and I understand who I am and what I'm here to do, I'm not comparing myself to what other people are doing because it ain't about them. It's about me and my path. There's never been any jealousy between me and you and what you do in your life. Even though we both rapped, even if you would kill me in a freestyle battle, which you would always kill me in freestyle battles.
I know, you used to kill me too.
Because I don't freestyle, but when it come to putting some lyrics together, I can get with you. But you know what? At the end of the day, where your life has taken you, that was what the universe, that's what the creator had for you. Mm-hmm. And could nobody take those doors open because they were meant to open for you? Mm-hmm. I see people that I know right now moving in a financially successful direction, right? But I'm an Aquarius, right? And see, this is where it comes to understanding the self, because there's so many things about you that you ain't explored, right? So many dark crevices that you ain't looked at that would give you a greater understanding if you spent time with yourself. Most people go from relationship to relationship to relationship. They never spend time by themselves. They always got the TV on. They always got some music in their ear. They never, ever sit in silence. Not ever.
Yeah, it's scary.
You know what I mean?
You got to go through it. You got to go through that hurt. You ain't got to do it but once. But you
Right.
go through that hurt that one time. Do that ugly cry that one time. And then you'll be able to it's like baby steps after that. But you got to get through it. It's scary.
Man.
It's scary.
But see,
I learned a lot sitting in silence. I learned more sitting in silence than I did doing. I love my therapist. Shout out to her. But I learned more sitting down and watching water or sitting in my closet in darkness. Baby, sitting there meditating. I learned why I was always broke.
Darkness is necessary. Darkness is necessary.
I learned so much. It literally, I was homeless in 2011. The whole the radio sleeping on a car thing. 2011. I went to Cleveland in February. It just hit me in like December or January that the real reason I was homeless is not because I sacrificed everything for radio. No, it's because I didn't love myself enough to ask for help. And when I went to Cleveland in February, and they were interviewing me talking about the book, I was telling them like, listen, by the end of this, two things gonna happen. One, you're gonna want to buy this book, and two, I'm gonna tell you why it never should have been written, because this story should have never happened. Because when you love yourself enough, you're not afraid to say, hey, listen, I'm fucked up and I really need some help. $300. Come on, man.
Hey, you know what? And it be an ego thing. The ego is a false thing because we really be trying to protect some shit that don't even need to be protected, right?
Because what needed to be protected was my damn rent, okay? Because
hey, it was the same thing. It was the same thing with me. I swear it was the same thing with me because I worked, I ain't tell nobody. I wasn't gonna tell nobody I was living in my car because I'm tough. Princella is rock hard, solid, right? I can handle anything. So I'm like, shit, fuck it. I'm gonna sleep in my car. I'm gonna get up here. I'm gonna work and I'm gonna sell these goddamn cars. Nobody knew. But something told me, I just confided into my Asian friend at the time. She was working there. We wasn't friends at that time, but the girl's so sweet, you know what I mean? And I developed a connection with her, and I told her that I was staying in the car, right? She ain't like that, right? And she felt bad for me. So she went and told the sales manager that I was staying in the car. So her and him went half on a hotel, extended stay hotel for me for a whole week, right? And this is what the sales manager said to me. He said, I usually don't help people who don't open their mouth and ask for help. Now, I didn't ask him for help in that sense, but I took that shot. But prior to me even working there, and this is a story, I ain't gonna go all the way through it, so I'm gonna just highlight it, But everything was just fucked up. It was a curse on me. I mean, I'm serious, it was like a curse. Everything went from bad to worse. I mean, it was so bad. I ended up racking up 8 bench warrants. I ain't had no money to pay for it. I had a Louisiana driver's license. So I couldn't get a job because everybody was telling me I needed a Texas driver's license, but I had no money and I had 8 bench warrants, and you can't get no Texas driver's license without clearing out the bench warrants. So I was fucked. So it was like, damn, I'm between a rock and a hard place. I was this close. I was 2 nanoseconds away from like, man, if I just take some dope, you know what I'm saying? Cause I ain't bold enough to sell no pussy. I'm sorry. I just don't have it in me to sell no pussy. So I was like, well, shit, if I can deliver some dope in the trunk and maybe I can come up with some money. I was like, nah, Princella, that ain't you. That ain't your character. You can't do that. And then you going through so much bad luck right now. Your luck have it, you get pulled over and that's your ass, and you know this shit is not in your nature and it ain't in your character. So I'm like, fuck, I'm between a rock and a hard place. I can't go against my character. I can't go against my nature. What the fuck I'ma do, right? So all of the dealerships was turning me down. Chick from Brazil, she was like, well, Princella, let me rewind. I was going to get a job at another dealership. The lady made it seem like I was going to get hired. She was going to hire me, whatever. Then she turned around and was like, nah, you did every fucking thing, but we decided to go in a different direction. When I went down there to get hired, she just came up, Princella, I want to try to get a job too at the dealership, but I want to go work at the Honda dealership because my boyfriend work over there. So I want to go work with him. So I took her to that dealership. See, I'm big on spirituality, and I know that there's some unforeseen. I know I got spirit guides and all of that. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't no Christian or none of that, but I do believe in the unforeseen. I take her down there. I already am under the impression that I got a job somewhere else. So I walk in the dealership right with her, and the sales manager, the one that went half on the hotel with me, the sales manager looked at me in the face. He looked at her and he say, I want to interview you too. I said, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not here to apply for a job. I brought her here. He said, that don't matter. I still want to interview you anyway. So he interviewed me and he said, you're going to be successful wherever you go, whatever you do. Okay. That job that I thought I was going to get fell through, right? So now I'm in distress because, well, not necessarily in distress. I was like, oh, well, fuck it. I was supposed to go get hired at the Mazda dealership. So I had came back over there to the Mazda dealership, and he was like, well, let me see your driver's license. I give him my driver's license, right? And he's like, well, we can't hire you because you need a Texas driver's license. Well, you already know what the issue is with that. So I'm like, oh, well, fuck, I can't get that job. So I tell her, I'm like, man, ain't nobody hiring me. Fuck it, nobody's hiring me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. She convinced me to go back to Honda because I wasn't gonna go. She was like, well, Princella, did you go talk to the manager at Honda? He wanted to hire. I say, ain't nobody hiring me because I got a Texas driver's license. So I was like, she finally convinced me to go back down there. And I say, I drove down there and I walked in there and I looked at the salesman and I say, hey, look, man, I'm between a rock and a hard place, right? I got a Louisiana driver's license. I got 8 bench warrants. I ain't got no money to pay them off, and I don't have a criminal history. Is that gonna stop me from getting a job? I was just straight up with him. Is that gonna stop me from getting a job? He was like, let me go and talk to the owner, and then I'll see. And if you hear me, call me back on Monday. If you don't hear from me, call me back or whatever. Man, fuck that. I drove up there. I'm not gonna call you on the phone. I'm not gonna send you no text. I drove all the way over there, from the north side to the south to the west side, and I got the job that day. The same day I got the job is the same day I got kicked out of my brother's house. So closed mouths.
The day I got hired in Cleveland is the day I got evicted.
Ain't that some shit, right?
Damn.
Similar story. Yeah, similar story, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we both born in Shreveport. We both born a couple of days apart from each other. There might be some. But Aquarius is so much better. But as an Aquarius, I could tell you, this is where it comes from understanding the self. See, as an Aquarius, a native Aquarian, my drive is not monetarily based, right? I don't really get my wholeheartedness or my effort does not go in simply because I can make money out of it. Mm-hmm. There has to be a greater purpose behind what I do for me to be excited about it. And so I have to kind of blend my desire to help people with my finances, right? This is why, if I'm in a real tough situation, I can get myself out of it and focus on money, because it's not really the money I'm focused on. It's me getting into a secure position that I'm focused on, right? So security is really important to me, right? So if I get money, it's because I'm trying to make sure that I stay secure. But once I'm secure, my desire for the money dissipates. So I have to find a way to align my desire to help and cater to people with my ability to support myself monetarily. And so that's where I'm at in this life. This is the reason why I can't look at somebody else who in a Lamborghini and who making all this money, who doing currencies or whatever. I can't look at them because we on 2 different life paths, and our challenges in life are 2 totally different things, and our purposes are different. So I can't discourage myself by comparing myself to somebody that ain't shit like me.
Correct.
You know what I mean? See, this is where understanding comes in of the self, because once you understand yourself fully, you can accept yourself, right?
You're so comfortable because you truly You know what got me to understanding? I was dating someone who was verbally abusive, and I couldn't understand like why he was so mean to me. Like, and when I finally got enough nuts to like break up with him, my homegirl was like, "I know you hurting right now, but when you get in a better place, take some time and try to understand it from his point of view." And I was like, "Understand it? What do you? What the fuck you?" But after I calmed down, I did, and enough meditation had me really like, oh, he, and that's why, damn, that's fucked up, but I get it. Okay. And then it's like, wait a minute, self. Well, how come you, oh, because of this thing that happened back here and now you still doing it. You realize that you do this and damn. And man, once you start understanding things, you start breaking cycles, and then you can truly move forward and really accept yourself for who you are right now. You don't even be realizing the things that are holding you back and why you act the way you do. You don't dislike that girl at work. It ain't got nothing to do with her. You dislike every girl at work who got ponytails or something because a bitch with a ponytail beat your ass in the second grade and you ain't got over it. Like, you know what I mean?
And everybody, the thing is, everybody suffers from this, right?
Yeah.
Because when you live life, the reality is when you live life, you're going to get bumps and bruises and scars. You're going to get broken in some areas, right? But a lot of people walk through this life and they don't get help and they don't get therapy. I had to be my own therapist. Thank goodness that I was gifted with the ability of understanding human psychology and human behavior. A lot of these people, see, you've been knowing me for a long time. A lot of these people that follow me, they started following me in 2015. So they don't know my past. And I try to tell them that the stuff that they own now, I was on.
Wait, remember when I thought you were crazy?
You thought I was crazy?
Yeah. I thought you were crazy. I was like, that's my friend, but she a little different, bro. Like, I swear. Yeah. And then I think I text you one day like, yo, I really thought you was crazy. My bad, because I get it now. Sorry. You were on it in like 06, 07. Like, man.
Yeah, all the shit they talk about now, I was on 06, 07. So all of the religious, all this black stuff, I'm past that. Like, so it's like I'm having to like kind of dial back and because they're still catching up to where I done already been, right? So I'm having to dial back because sometimes I can be so far out there that I can't relate to the people because I'm not where they at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my desire is to truly help people and to help elevate people and push them into the directions that they individually or personally desire to go. The issue that I have with a lot of people is that they hold a collectivist mentality while I hold an individualist mentality. And my job on this planet is to help the individual, to help the individual and not necessarily the group. You know what I mean? So again, it all comes within understanding the self.
Yeah.
And once you can understand the self and you can fully accept the self, you can now be appreciative of all of your strengths and your weaknesses, right? And you can have some compassion for the life that you had in the past and the mistakes, so you ain't beating yourself up because it took those experiences to make you become the person that you appreciate so much right now. Yep. So why the fuck would you be beating yourself up? Right?
You were working with the information of who you were at that time. And that's okay. Be grateful that you'll never do it again.
Right.
You'll never be that person again. You've grown so much. Be grateful that you can look back and be like, damn, wow. I recently found my therapy termination letter after 8 weeks. They like evaluate you and like you can decide like you done, like I graduated there. I read it, and when I was reading it, it was like, I've learned that it's okay to set boundaries. I learned that it's okay to not answer the phone sometimes. And I remember reading it going, damn, I remember when I wrote this, I really thought I had grown. And I'm like, look at where I'm at now, bro. Because I'm reading this shit like, wow, I had just learned that it's okay to tell people no. Like, and you just be so grateful because when you reach those milestones, you got to appreciate the fuck out of yourself because you're going to keep going. And the more you appreciate where you are, the further you're going to grow. It's really beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because I'm a humanitarian. And my desire is to help people. I enjoy helping people, right? But I never had boundaries because I was also operating in codependent ways. See, I ended up in relationships that drained me where I was always taken advantage of because I was not aware that I was being codependent, right? And basically being codependent is you do and do and do and do for other people and nobody ever does any fucking thing for you. And so you find yourself being in a lopsided relationship. And how in the fuck does that happen? Well, we go back to self-love. And the first component of love is seek first understanding. Well, goddamn. Well, the reality is I ain't never been loved at all because I grew up in a fucked up household, in a messed up situation. And I never experienced love growing up. So this desire to be accepted by people, right? And this desire for somebody to do something for me, because I always got to do for myself. I always had it. And so this desire for somebody to do something for me where I'm not the only one. Because I meant to say this on my Valentine's Day episode. But when Valentine's Day would come around, remember in school, they used to have the secret admirer shit where you could buy the crush and all of that shit. Ain't nobody ever get me shit.
No.
I always had to buy my own. If I wanted something to make myself not feel left out, I would buy my own shit and write my own secret admirer. Because if I didn't, I wasn't getting a motherfucking thing. See,
I did that.
Yeah.
I should have did that. I ain't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. But so all these years, I always had to do for myself to feel special, right?
But it's the fact that you did those things. Like, you had enough in you to say, I'm going to write my own note. I ain't have enough in, because I had a job. I was working at Popeyes. I could have paid the little $12 or like whatever. But I ain't even have enough in me to say, hey, man, fuck it. Write your own little note and get you. It's the fact that you've always loved yourself enough. Even when maybe you didn't see it that way.
Yeah, I ain't see it that way, but I did it because I just didn't want to feel left out. You know what I mean? Because I felt left out once before, and then you had the little boys that like the little girls, and they go buy them these big old bears and shit, and they walking around school with that shit, and the motherfucker ain't give me nothing. But here's the thing. Why was that so impactful to me, though? Why did that hurt me so bad? Because I wasn't getting love from the house either. Because I wasn't getting love at home either. So I felt like I was worthless, right? I got my mama calling me names. My daddy is in the military. He ain't there. Whenever he do come in, he ain't spending time with me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in the most supportive family. I felt I was an outcast. Then I got picked on at school from elementary school all the way up to fucking high school. You know what I mean? I had a lot of motherfucking shit to work through, right? Yeah. So me being codependent all resulted from me not ever experiencing somebody really loving me, and I always wanted somebody to do something for me, and not me always doing for people, and nobody do a motherfucking thing for me. So now it's like, now that I understand what codependency was, Because if I'd have looked up the definition a long time ago, I probably wouldn't have been. I probably would have stopped that shit now. Because my brain operate on. I'm serious. My brain operate on definition. Once I know what the definition is, some shit, my whole damn brain changed, and I'm keyed in on that. So once I looked up the definition of codependency, that was a wrap for that. Hey man, I got boundaries, and I don't give a fuck if you like them or not. But one thing is, I'm not gonna be in no type of relationship that ain't showing me no motherfucking benefit.
If it's
Not
not
a.
mine, want me like I want you. I be telling everybody, want me like I want you. And if you don't want me like I want you in every aspect, like it don't have to look the same, but I need to know, like we have to understand that there's a desire from both sides in a
Absolutely.
job, in a friendship, in a relationship, in everything.
Absolutely. Right.
Period.
Right. Because at the end of the day, relationships have to be equitable, and there has to be a give take on both sides in a win-win situation. In codependent relationships is never a win-win setup. It's always a win-lose setup, right? And I always found myself on the losing end, so I had to figure out why. Princella, are you on the losing end all the fucking time? Cause you a good motherfucker. How the hell you can't find or get into a good situation? It ain't cause you a bad motherfucker, and it ain't cause you doing something wrong. The only thing that you doing wrong is not putting yourself first and continuing to be codependent. You got to be able to fully love yourself and stand on your own. Do for you. Don't wait for nobody to do for you. Don't even expect it. Don't even expect it. And I don't expect motherfuckers to do shit now. I expect me to live fully in who I am, enjoying the person that I am, and doing the things that I enjoy. If a person come along, they come along. If they don't, they don't. But even when I do meet somebody, I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna be the loving, humanitarian person that I am, right? But this time I got boundaries on how far I'm gonna go. You ain't gonna get everything out of me this time.
See, but to me, you saying I'm putting me first is what in you saying I have to do it for me and I'm not even expecting anyone else to do it. To me, that goes back to middle school when you got yourself those Valentine's Day gifts. When I think you went back to who you were, and when you go back to who you are as a kid, like, oh, okay, wait a minute, well, I want one. I think that was just still in you.
And it probably was. It probably was. And I was probably not, the reason that I did it then was just to stop myself from feeling left out. I really wasn't doing it because, I was making myself feel good, because I still felt left. I still felt like nobody liked me, right? I felt like,
damn,
yeah. And I know somebody has said before, I ain't know light-skinned women had self-esteem issues. That's real easy to believe because of the colorist climate that they have. But self-esteem issues, that's not colorblind. That's not colorblind. We all go through periods of where we don't feel valued by other people, right? And your power in life comes from when you finally appreciate the unique person that you are, and you finally value yourself. And it ain't a motherfucking thing that anybody can tell you on the outside world that's going to penetrate your mind to make you think otherwise. Because there's a difference between being conceited, all right, and arrogant and confident, right?
Yeah.
You got to be confident in you.
And it comes, I ain't gonna say naturally, but it develops the more you put into yourself. The more you learn you, and the more gratitude you express, the more you are just honest with yourself, and the better your relationship is with self, the more confidence you have. Like, it's really beautiful to be able to look at yourself and be like, damn, okay, all right, but you
Yeah.
mean that shit. like in the
And
middle of
mean
the
it.
night, crust in your eyes, ashy ass lips because you gotta pee. You still cute looking in the mirror, checking yourself. Like, it's cool. It's beautiful. It empowers you so much, and it changes the way you treat, obviously, the way you treat yourself, but it changes the way you treat others.
Absolutely.
Like I can remember, I spoke to some women, and I was telling them how old me would look at half of them and be jealous and not like them, and find something to not like about them, whether it's their hair or them nails or whatever. Like, ugh. Not because they did anything to me, but because I was jealous because I felt like they were really pretty. And now, today, me, OCD, same women would be like, oh my God, girl, your hair is cute as shit. And mean it because I see me in them. And I
Right.
know my hair because I look good on purpose. Like I got woke up and did my edges for this thing. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's so beautiful to live in the present. And like everybody is like, oh my God, look at you glowing. And it's like, I know, I see it too.
Right.
And it's beautiful to be here and to notice the difference in me. Like now you be pumping your friends up. Like, nah, we don't do that negative shit over here, Pooh. It's still a good day. What's wrong with you? Like
Exactly.
it's wonderful.
Exactly.
It's wonderful. I love it.
That's wonderful. That's
My life,
wonderful.
girl.
Like I said, confidence, confidence is the key to all of this. Confidence is the key to all of it, right? You got to walk in this world knowing. You got to walk in this world knowing who you are and stand in that. And stand in that. Because the world will try to shake your foundation. The world will try to break you. And they will break you if you don't know you. And if you don't accept you. You know what I mean? And the only way that happens is because you're trying to acquiesce to fictitious standards that does not fit every single person.
I like when you say acquiesce.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my little dictionary. That's my little lexicon coming out of there.
Come on, yeah.
Right, right. Well, I want you to show them. I'm gonna show them. Let them know what your where they can follow you at. Let them know what you got a run group, right? You created a
Yeah.
group.
Run with Lil D. So I've been running or jogging or trying to most of my life, but finally, after I ran this half marathon, I came up with the idea in 2017. I had a logo, t-shirts, everything, and I told myself when I get in shape, I'm gonna do it. Forgot all about it. When I started running last year to train for the marathon, people started asking me, "You just start a group? Or you gonna start a club?" And it hit me because I still have that tank top, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I had this whole idea." So April 1st, I'm gonna start my memberships. Probably not April 1st. But either way, it's a women's running and walking club where we are going to be focusing on being mentally healthy and physically fit. We'll meet twice a week to jog, but you'll also have access to a private Instagram and Facebook page where we'll have recipes, advice from a therapist, nutritionalist. Oh, sorry. You'll have discounts at various Black-owned businesses just for being a member. All new members get a whole new, kit uniform sponsored by Fit Sis, which is an apparel line out of Cleveland, tank top and leggings. So you'll be ready to run, no excuses. All the free stuff in your bag, of course, comes from Black-owned businesses. And we just ready to get in shape. If you've never run or if you just ran a marathon, you can join. We'll have a run captain, me, and a walk captain. No one will be left behind. We have a fallback rule, so if we're going and you get tired and you fall back, somebody falling back with you, period. No one gets left. But it's gonna be really great. I'm excited as fuck. RunwithlilD.com coming very soon.
Let me pull that up right here.
Oh, it's not it, but it's coming real soon. It's getting built right now.
There you go. There you go. So I put the thing the photo that you had that you sent me, showing them what you got here. So it's always enlightening to take your struggles, your pain, and turn them into triumphs and turn them into ways that you can help elevate and benefit other people. Because ultimately, that's what we on the planet for. Once you make all the money, once you done bought everything that you can buy, once you done traveled all over the places, what else you got left to do in life but help somebody, but to enrich another soul? I mean, really. For me, you know, I don't really have that many materialistic wants. I just never really been a materialistic person. My only desire is to travel. That's my thing. But hell, once I done traveled all over the place, it ain't really much material shit that I want. But my main thing is to help people and elevate people. And I might have a harsh way of doing it sometimes, but that's just me. You know, I accept me, and I can't try to be somebody else and try to do it like somebody else. I can only do it like I know how to do it. And some people will follow along, some people won't. Oh well. However big the universe want me to get, that's how big I'm gonna get. And I ain't gonna get no bigger, I ain't gonna get no smaller. It is, as long as I complete the plan and the purpose and what I came here to do, I'm happy.
I wanted to be a rapper originally because I wanted to be the next Tupac. And the only reason I wanted to be the next Tupac is because I wanted to get real famous, go on tour, and so I could help as many people as I wanted to. And I think it's real dope that I'm still using my platform to help people, because that's all I wanted to do when I grew up.
And that's a beautiful thing.
That's kind of dope. Like, yeah, I'm really doing what I wanted to do when I grew up. Like, I think we started this interview and you were like, what we think we want isn't what we might want, but it's the shit that's gonna get us on the path. Like, I really just wanted to be the next Tupac, and it ain't look how I thought it was gonna look, you know. But here we are.
Right. Hell, I don't even know what this gonna look like. This whole podcast shit might not even fucking work it, but it might take me somewhere else that I wasn't even thinking that I was gonna go. Who the hell knows?
Happens on purpose.
Just follow your spirit, because your spirit is gonna give it to you in the form of desire. And wherever path you gonna go, that's where you gonna go. And you're gonna learn what you need to learn, and everything is the way it's supposed to be, period.
Yeah.
You got any final words for anybody?
The key to life is loving yourself enough to make the right decisions and effectively love others. Want no one more than you want yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It does not make you a bad person. It actually will make you a better person for yourself and for everyone else around you. If you have 150% like self-love battery, that means you have 50% to give somebody else. Once you dip into that 100, that means that you need to take your ass back home. Other than that, I guess my final words be: follow me everywhere at Lil D on air, LILD on air. Website grindinginreallife.com. My book Route 2, My Choice to Struggle to Succeed. Grab that hoe right on my website. Forward by Charlamagne the God. You know what I'm saying? The fact that that's me on the cover, that was 45 pounds ago, bro. But anyway,
can you move it in front of the camera, because we can't see it? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Route 2, My Choice to Struggle to Succeed, forward by Charlamagne the God. You want to talk about a diary of a homeless radio superstar in the making? It's a very digestible 88 pages, if I do say so myself. Not just because I wrote it, but it's great. Also, I'm a writer for other people, co-writing, ghostwriting, editing, all of that. So yeah, holla at me, grindinginreallife.com, or hit me anywhere at Lil D on air, LILD on air.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I sure appreciate you taking out the time to come on here and talk to the people, because I think, you know, everybody needs that, you know, other perspective. Instead of just listening to me, listen to somebody else. Even though we're not exactly all the way where we want to be, we're in the making, and it takes these characteristics, and it takes this fortitude to go through these hardships to get where you go. A lot of times, the thing about now in society today is we have social media, we got cameras, and you can see in real time if a person is willing to be vulnerable and open. For me, I'm pretty open. I don't really give a damn what people fucking know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I want you to see, because I know I'm not going to give up on me. I know I ain't going to quit. So I really don't care if you get to see the troughs and the valleys and the ups and downs, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're going to see the finished product and you get to see it in real time. The difference is, back in the day, you just saw the finished product. You didn't really see what it took for them to get there, right? But see, now you can watch people go from nothing to something, and you can see, especially if they're very open, to see all of the ups and downs that they go through, and they still make it out on top or on the other side. And that's what I love about this. You know, I love it because it gives people a new perspective on how they have to actually be and how they have to actually succeed, because success is different for everybody. Success is not equivalent to monetary gain. You know what I mean?
I feel, ooh, girl, you just said a word. I be telling people that it's like success, like stop judging this. Like, okay, let's say that, you know, your goal is to be a judge and you want to make, you know, $1 million by 40. Cool. And so you looking at this woman who works at Sears and she's got 2 kids and you like, oh my God, I would hate to be her. She should have never gave up. How do you know that her goal in life wasn't to be a wife and a mom? And she did that shit. And she only working at Sears so she could have some more money for Christmas for them gifts. And then she gonna quit in February, happy as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like if that's her success and she live in a nice ass house and she cool and like this is her life and she happy as fuck when she wake up, let her work at Sears.
Exactly.
Cause she did it.
Right. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah just dropped $10 in the Cash App. I sure appreciate that. Anybody else want to drop something in the Cash App? We sure appreciate you, because that's how we going to get the platform to grow, and that's how I'm going to help pay for some of this stuff that I done did to make it look pretty. Because, you know, I've been on social media for all these doggone years. You know what I'm saying? Now I had to make it look pretty. So, you know, we got to pay for all this stuff, you know. But I sure appreciate you. Make sure you drop something in the Cash App. Make sure you purchase the book. Make sure you go and follow her on her social media and stuff. You know what I mean? I think I did want to say one last thing. But I don't remember what it was, and I'll probably remember after. I'm serious. I know I'm going to remember after it. You know, it ain't going to matter. But, you know, thank y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And we will have more guests in the future. And we still working on how we going to do the show and how we going to grow it and all of the different little nuances we going to add to it. And then, you know, maybe, you was in radio, you know, you can give me some pointers or some tips on what to do to make the show even more exciting. You know what I mean?
You already know. You locked in for it.
Yeah. But hey, look, the show airs every Monday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, next week, what we going to talk about, because I'm already prepping this. If you was on my Facebook post today, you know Facebook, I had Facebook jumping like crazy today because I posted some damn stats. I posted some stats to dispute some of the rhetoric that's coming from the Manosphere and Kevin Samuels crew, the little minions over there. You know, I welcome all the smoke, right? All the smoke. I don't care what man debates me. You ain't gonna win, not on this one. Next week, what we're gonna do is I have a whole lot more stats. I actually got 115, a little bit over 115 stats specifically around divorce, right? And marriage. So I definitely want to talk about these things, and I want to pull up some stuff from all of the, you know, little manosphere people, all the shit that they be saying, and we just gonna go all the way down the line with these stats. You know what I mean? Because you always got to let the facts speak for you, because if you don't, then you're just going to get in a piss battle with emotions flying all over the place. We ain't going to do that. We're not going to do that. So thanks again for Lil D. If y'all enjoyed Lil D and all of her information and her life story, hey, man, drop something in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because at the end of the day, that's the only way you're gonna let YouTube know that you like this content.
Period.
All right. So I'm signing out. Y'all have a good night. I got to go to work in the morning because I'm still working. I'm still working. All right. Yeah. Thank you. You have a good night, D.
Thank you. Love you, friend.
All right. Bye bye. See y'all. Peace.